Meanwhile, many have expressed serious concerns on the new low in relations between the two countries following the executive order freezing aid to South Africa and resettling Afrikaners as refugees to the United States. For more, we're now joined by Neil Diamond, the president of the South African Chamber of Commerce in the USA. Neil, good evening. Really do appreciate it. In the statement that was released by the Chamber of Commerce earlier, it warned of a potential skills flight, leaving South Africa with a dearth in its food production and agricultural value chain, as well as some other critical skills. Elaborate for us on how you reached that conclusion.
Thank you, and good morning from the US. Good evening to your viewers in South Africa. This unprecedented decision marks a significant downturn in diplomatic ties between the two nations and raises serious concerns over the economic and social impact on South Africa, particularly within the agricultural sector. The South African Chamber of Commerce in the US have expressed our deep concern over the implications of this executive action, particularly its potential to accelerate a significant exodus of skilled professionals from South Africa. And under these skilled professionals, we also include those professional farmers within the agricultural community.
Is anyone likely to take up this deal, Neil? Many AfriForum came out and said the cost would be too high for the Afrikaner community to take up this deal. And there's a sense that given access to opportunity and given statistically what we know about the economic and financial positioning and conditionalities of white Afrikaner families, they have it relatively well in South Africa compared to what they would have it as in the USA. Would anyone reasonably take up this deal and settle in the US as a refugee?
Well, just to give you an indication, in the last 18 hours since this news has broken of the executive order that was signed, we've been inundated with more than 10,000 inquiries from South Africans inquiring about the process of which they could follow to become refugees and which they can relocate with their families to the United States. Annually, we support approximately 11,000 temporary agricultural workers that travel to the US between March and October of each year to work on US farms. The way has now been paved for those individuals that are known as H-2A visa workers to make use of this opportunity and move to the US permanently. They already have employment in the United States and they can comfortably resettle with their families. And I think therefore our concern is focused in and around the agricultural sector. There are other sectors such as finance, manufacturing and various skills that will also be affected, but this is something that directly affects the food security of South Africa. It also impacts on the binational trade, as many of those trade sectors are for agro-processed goods that are currently being traded with the United States. So the concerns here are real, and the interest that we have seen alarms us as business. The impact on South Africa has got a dire end outlook at this stage.
Yeah. What do you envision a solution to this to be, concretely?
Look, SABC urges governments to engage in urgent diplomatic discussions to address the underlying causes of this executive order and explore solutions that do not compromise the economic stability.
Just for clarity, Neil. Just for clarity, just describe to us what the underlying conditions are for this executive order.
Well, we are referencing the underlying causes. We don't know what has informed the President of the United States to take this executive order. We have previously indicated that we would like to ensure that facts and not fiction guide the President of the United States' actions. But I think we have already been overrun by events. At this stage, the executive order is in place. And the President of the United States have specifically referenced that the Expropriation Act follows countless government policies in South Africa designed to dismantle equal opportunity in employment, education and business. So if we read it in that base, and we are still having our legal team look at this, it basically opens it to any minority in South Africa that feels disenfranchised over the last 30 years. We believe in a government of national unity that has been established last year. We believe in every South African playing their part to make our country economically viable and successful as a global player, but also looking at the impact that that would have if we lose any specific segment of our society. We don't want to reference specifically Afrikaners. I think it is broader than just that singular group. But the reality is the term second-class citizen is being thrown around these days and popularized, and I am hearing it more and more. We did not liberate our country so that there should be second-class citizens. And I think having
Okay.
the leader of the free world addressing this issue is a significant concern for business.
Well, I mean, there are over 75% of landowners in South Africa that are white, and I think they might have a thing to say about whether or not they think they are better placed in South Africa. Neil, thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. Neil Diamond is the president of the South African Chamber of Commerce in the USA.